All right. Whoop. We're back. We'll edit that out. Thank you for joining us. We're back. The final of the Six Kings Slam. Rematch of what happened last year. Same players. Same prize money worth. They're paying for $6 million. Combined prize, or 4.5 bonus, I guess. Sinkaraz. We've seen it a million times. I definitely was more excited last year when they played in the final because we've seen them play in much bigger finals than this. Maybe not monetarily, but at the end of their careers, we're not going to remember that $6 million match they played? Unless it becomes like this epic, 3-hour epic. But they played the Wimbledon final. They played the French Open final. They played the US Open final. All of this year. This feels like a little bit of a step down from that, even if the prize money is more. But it's still Sinkaraz. So let's hope the quality of this final is there because, Alcaraz could come here and just muck around and lose and it wouldn't really matter because we know that he doesn't need to win this tournament to get any confidence. He knows how to beat Sinner. This won't matter for him. But I hope they both play at the same intensity that Fritz brought today. That would be fun. Or it'll just be, run-of-the-mill, average day at the office for somebody. Sinkaraz are the real and proper kings, okay. Are you excited to watch Sinkaraz final for many years? Yeah. For sure. In the Grand Slams, for sure. I want to see them play in the Davis Cup final against each other because that feels like the next step for this rivalry. Like that. Like when we look at like the best rivalries of all time, it feels like a Davis Cup clash especially when it's Italy, Spain, two countries that are very like in football, soccer, right? A very like passionate team countries, like patriotic countries. To have them playing in a Davis Cup would be like, we need that one time in their careers. Hopefully this year, but like that feels like we've seen them play, everything but the Australian Open final in the Grand Slams. But I feel like a Davis Cup match or a Davis Cup final match is like, that's the next step for Sinkaraz. So of course I'm excited. I love watching Sinkaraz. I'm just not as I'm not as excited for this Sinkaraz final because I don't know how serious they're going to take it and how serious we should take it. Considering we've watched them play for the biggest trophies and the most important tournaments in the world of tennis, right? This is not, it has the word slam, but it's not a slam. So it's hard for me to like know whether or not we should get really fired up. I'm just more like, let's just enjoy this Sinkaraz match. Hopefully they play some crazy points. Hopefully they give us some highlights, but really the result doesn't matter. Especially when they're played in the biggest trophies for the biggest trophies this year. This is not that, right? But hopefully we get some good highlights and some awesome shot making, yeah. If nothing else. Because the only thing that would be shocking in this is if one of the guys beat the other really badly. Like if it was 1-2 or love and 2, right? If one of these guys smoked the other one, that would be a surprise. If they played a 3-set, you're like, okay, whatever. Great, but also the result won't matter unless it's one-sided. I don't think. Because last year it was a 3-setter and Sinner won and it didn't mean anything. Because look what happened after that. Sinner won one match in like 6 against Alcaraz, right? When's it going to start? It's going to start in like 15 minutes. Now, because Djokovic retired, these guys probably weren't ready. Because they were thinking Djokovic and Fritz were going to play another set. So they probably weren't ready, So that's why we're a little bit shocked. They're doing that Laura Robson camera thing again. You can't see shit. It's a terrible idea. Like, you can only see her racket And then you see her turning to the side and you can't even see the ball. And it's not because Sinner's serving so fast. It's because the camera angles are shit. It's shit. It's a stupid idea. Like Sinner's serving massive serves, but the camera doesn't pick it up on, like, you can't even see Sinner half the time. Because she's, like, leaning down to hit shots, and you can't see her. Her arms are in the way. It's a terrible camera. Whose idea was this? Like, you can't see anything. You just see her hands and a racket blocking everything. Like, okay, he did a first serve and we saw, like, the side advertising. Like, what do you want from us? Like, what are we doing? Whoever came up with this idea needs to go back to the drawing board. It's not Laura Robson's fault because she's just trying to get the returns. But whoever thought this GoPro camera was a good idea, it's mistaken. It's a terrible idea. Put the camera on the racket. Right? Sinner is not playing with Alcaraz this time, okay? I'll tell you though, the best part about this whole segment is him talking about the court with Laura Robson. That's way more interesting. Him actually, like, you don't get to hear Sinner talk that much about things. By the way, Sinner, Laura Robson's like, hey, you got to hit a first serve at me. And he's like, I don't want to do that. And then he does. And he's like, I'm sorry. Sinner felt so bad. She's like, no, hit it as hard as you can. He's like, oh, okay. And then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Courts are quick. What can I say? Joker's a loser. Can you leave? If you're going to be like that, can you leave? I feel like we're having good vibes today for the most part. So don't bring it down. Also, anyone saying that, like, Djokovic is robbing anybody, blah, 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 blah. Like, you are the least empathetic people. Like, think of him for, like, put yourself in his shoes for a second. Try and do that. Try and see it from his point of view, why he would do that. And maybe you can understand that, hey, an exhibition tournament is not worth it. Especially if he is feeling like he's fatigued or injured or sore or whatever. Like, and Fritz didn't seem like he felt robbed because he probably thought, gotcha. Like, he got him. Fritz got him. It was a long first set. That first set was longer than most of the matches this week. Look at the bigger picture. Exactly. And again, Fritz didn't seem after the match that he felt like, I was going to win and he ran away. No, Fritz was like, I got him. Fritz took that as a win. What about the viewers or spectators? Aren't our time important? He played for 75 minutes, which was longer than the Zverev match at the start of the week. So I don't know, like, time. He gave us nearly an hour and a half of tennis, which is as much as most matches are. So, like, time, he gave you time. He gave you 75 minutes of his best tennis, which is more than what other players this week have been able to do. Plus, he also played the other day. He played 2 matches, which is more than some of the other players. Again, if you feel robbed, I don't know what. Like, I don't know why you would feel robbed. It's an exhibition. He doesn't owe anyone anything. He could have even just skipped this. He didn't even need to be here. Like, congrats to Fritz, though. Oh, yeah, Fritz played great. The way that Fritz went about this tournament, I love it. I love how, like, locked in he was. The viewers are getting Sincaraz. Yeah. That first match was not supposed to be the main event anyway. So if you're like, oh my God, I feel so unhappy because Djokovic robbed me, you've got Sincaraz. Like, shouldn't you be happy that that match is the actual final is coming on now? Like, if it was the final between Djokovic and somebody and he retired in the final, I can understand. But that was a third place match with nothing on the line. Nobody, it didn't hurt anybody. It feels like a Fritz was deprived of a win, and I guess we can see it as a win. It doesn't, though. Like, look at Fritz's interview after and look at his reaction. He was smiling from ear to ear. Like, Fritz did not look like he was deprived of a win. Like, his straight away, the way he was talking in those interviews, he was as happy as if he had won the match, even though he only won a set. So, like, no. Fritz didn't... I don't think Fritz was deprived of a win. Even if he did win, it wouldn't have counted. It doesn't count. But the way he reacted, it looked like he did win. He did. He did. He beat Djokovic. Physically. If the other guy quit and tapped, you won. Fritz beat him. It wasn't a draw. So Fritz took that as a win. He got the win. Fritz knows he'd probably won it anyway. Nole was physically done. Yeah. And if Djokovic had continued, he probably would have just not tried. And that would have been way worse for everybody. Because if Djokovic just came out there and was like, whatever, I don't care, and made errors and just like was silly and lost 6-1, would that have made anyone feel any better? No, everyone would have been like, oh man, he just gave up. I can't believe he didn't even try. It's like, yeah, well, why? If he wasn't going to try, then why would he? Why do it? You know, he would have got shit anyway. So Fritz was awesome in the interview. Like, oh yeah, how happy? He's just grinning the whole time. I'm like, Taylor Fritz came to this tournament with a mission, and I think he accomplished it. In a little accomplishment. I don't think he accomplished, like, he obviously wanted to beat Sinner or Alcaraz or both, and maybe Djokovic, like, you know, beat him in a full match. But I think Fritz came here, obviously came here to win, and I think he walks away with, you know, okay, I lost to Alcaraz, right? But I beat Zverev again, and I beat Djokovic. So Fritz is thinking, all right, it's a pretty good weekend. And I got $1.5 million. But, like, other than the money, I think Fritz has got to, like, for a confidence boost, hell yeah. Especially ahead of the ATP finals, when he might have to play all three of those guys. Because remember, Djokovic, well, maybe not Djokovic and Zverev, but he's going to play one of those guys, possibly in the group stage, and maybe Alcaraz again. So, you know, Fritz coming out here going, yeah, I got a little bit of a preview into what I might have to play in a couple of weeks in the ATP finals. So, again, Fritz, he might not win this. He might not be the winner of the tournament, but he definitely took away a big win. Big wins. And a lot of confidence. And then he's got to play Vachereau in Basel next week. That'll be interesting. All right, so Andy Castle is he's giving out thank yous and stuff. We are still waiting for Sinner and Alcaraz to walk out on court because they probably weren't ready to be ready for this match because they probably didn't expect Djokovic and Fritz to stop so quickly. Exactly. It's not a crime to be locked in, be it Fritz or Sinner Cam. What? Why are you coming at me for? We're on the same. We agree. The hell? Two sets Vachereau next week. Let's not forget he's Rinderknech's cousin. Yeah, so Fritz is going to tell him to get on a plane, go home. Fritz is going to tell him to enjoy the flight. Oh, how's your cousin's flight? Yeah, you get on it too, right? See ya. You previously said Sinner shouldn't play events like this if he's going to be serious in the last stream. Wait, when did I say that? What did I say? When did I say that? That doesn't sound like me. You previously said Sinner shouldn't play these events if he's going to be serious. Oh! You mean when I was joking about him being like ruthless and like... Did I say that he shouldn't play these events if he's going to be serious? Why did I say that? I don't know. I say a lot of things, so... But I don't remember saying that. No, Vacheroy is going to tell him to have a nice flight to Paris. Okay. They're doing the national anthem. And then the players will appear. Novak qualified, but if he's going to play, though. I don't think he will play. Can I think that in the order to make this fun, they should have called fun exhibition players like Bublik, Rinderknech, and Monfils instead of just going for the rankings? Okay, so, again, this is my theory. So the reason why this tournament exists is because I think it's because they wanted to use this as a way to showcase what they can do and how they can be a benefit to the tennis world for the ATP. And they've got a 1,000 event coming up in 2028, apparently. And I don't think this event will exist when the 1,000 comes around. But if we look at it like that, then they need the best players in the world so they can show everybody what they can do with the best players in the world. And for that, they need to pay them, because otherwise people aren't going to show up if they're not getting serious paydays. But if you put Rinderknech and you put Monfils and Bublik in this, they're not going to pay that much money. They're not going to give them that much. Because they're not going to pay premium prices for the players that are not in the top 5, right? They're not going to do that. Okay, Tsitsipas came in, but he was a replacement for Draper, who was at the time number 6. So, you know. But they're not going to pay Bublik and Rinderknech $1.5 million for showing up because people don't know who they are. They're not the best of the best. Even in Monfils right now, not the best of the best. You're right, though, exhibition players, but they're not the best of the best. So the prize money would be lower, but then also the attention would be less. Because if you get the UTS and you put these guys all in the UTS that's happening at the moment, not right now, that maybe you don't realize is happening. If you put this lineup in that, everybody watches. But if you put Rublev and Bublik and, Gasquet, it's interesting, but you're not paying attention to that. You probably didn't even know the UTS was on right now. Right? So you can't just put exhibition players in here because the attention's not going to be the same. But they want the attention so that we all look and go, wow, they're doing a hell of a production. Wow, maybe they are a benefit to tennis. And then at 1,000, they get their 1,000 license, which is probably what they've been campaigning for. Again, am I making sense? Like, anyway, that's my theory. That's my tinfoil hat theory. But like, if you don't give them a shit ton of money to just show up, then the players aren't going to show up. Like, you have to make it a no-brainer just to show up. And they need the best players on the planet to legitimize the event, because it's called the Six King Slam. You can't have 6 King Slam and then like a bunch of players in there in 30 to 50 in the world, because that doesn't make sense, right? Because they're not the kings of the slams. All right, here we go. Sinner's walking out first. But again, this is such a weird exhibition because it's the most lucrative exhibition of all time. But again, it's like, but it's not, it doesn't feel like an exhibition because some of the players are playing super, super serious. But then some of the players are just kind of like rocking up and then disappearing. So it's a weird, this is what happens when so much money gets involved. Things just feel weird, I think. You know, when it's like when the motivation's money, it feels a bit weird because some players are going to be here and not, you know, for the 1 day paycheck, and some players are going to actually try and win the whole thing, and then some players are like going to be like try for a day and then not try. I mean, Djokovic, you know, he was playing really tough yesterday against Sinner, but then today after a set he's like, it's not worth it now. Like, you know what I mean? So it just makes it weird, kind of weird, because the incentive is money, but also Djokovic doesn't need money, right? He's not like, oh well, I need this payday. He doesn't need it. So it's a weird, it's a strange event. And look, I picked Alcaraz to win, and just because, you know, Alcaraz, right? But Sinner probably wins this match if Alcaraz plays like it's an exhibition. Because out of these two guys, who's gonna play less serious? Alcaraz, right? Because he knows if he loses, it doesn't matter to him. And he also knows that he can entertain the crowd. Sinner's not really the entertainer type. Also, Sinner probably thinks he needs the win, because even if it's an exhibition, for him to go, oh, I beat Alcaraz, good. I don't think Alcaraz is going to be worried if he loses, but you know what I mean? Like, we'll see what happens. But who says Djokovic doesn't need the money if you get 1.5 for participating? I meant doesn't need the big prize. Like, if he loses, he wasn't bothered. I mean, he wouldn't have played today if he didn't have to. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what was today? It was worth nothing today. Why is Sinner wearing a body camera? Because he's a part of the SWAT. He joined the FBI. If tennis events happen in Dubai, players will get tax-free amount. Cool. I wouldn't mind if Alcaraz lost the match at all. To be honest, doesn't count. It doesn't count. It only counts if it's really, really a really bad beat, in my opinion. Like if one of these guys destroys the other, that'd be crazy. Sinner is far more popular in Saudi than Carlos. The crowds went crazy for Sinner when he appeared. Okay. By the way, chat, before this match starts, can we all just agree or disagree, but agree, it doesn't matter who wins? Can we all agree? If you're on the Sinner side, you're on the Alcaraz side, it doesn't matter who wins. Besides more money, it doesn't matter. Besides the money, it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Why does it matter then? Why? Give me a reason, and then we can agree that it matters. Because I don't want to do this like, it only matters if my guy wins. Or like, oh, it doesn't matter because my guy lost. We need to be on the same page to start this match. Does it matter or not? It matters. If it matters, then the winner of this match, their fans get to celebrate, and there's no excuse for the loser that it doesn't matter. I want to make sure we're on the same page. Does it matter or does it not matter? It matters. Okay, a lot of people saying it matters. All right? It matters. It matters. So I don't want to hear anyone coming in here. If your guy's losing and going, it doesn't matter. It's an exhibition. Carlos doesn't care. All right, but everybody agrees that it matters. Good. So we're going to treat this as if it is a Grand Slam final. Maybe not that. But we're going to count this as a win for either guy. No discounting because it's an exhibition. We all agree. Good. That makes my job a lot easier, because then when people come in here and be like, it doesn't matter because it's this. No. We unanimously agreed. We had a vote. Unofficial vote. We didn't count the votes, but I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a lot of people. Good. All right. Everybody is on the same page. We agree. Whoever wins this match and whoever's fans win this match, because, the fan bases, then you get to, you get to bask in the glory of the win. And the people that are on the losing end, I don't want to hear it. I want to hear this, well, it doesn't actually matter, blah, 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 blah. No, we've all agreed that this does matter. Good. This is going to make my job so much easier. I'm sorry, this is going to make it so much more fun for me. So much more fun. Now, let's all just play nice, all right? Let's not start, getting crazy and shit, but it's going to make things so much easier. Make official vote. I just did. I counted the votes in my head. And you can shove your poll. There's no polls. All right. Let's warm it up. And then we're going to kickstart this Alcaraz match. I don't know what, Alcaraz 7 for the year or something like that? Settle it with a poll. Shove your poll. Bragging rights will be given to somebody. When does it start? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Here we go. Last couple of serves, and then we're getting this started. Here we go, chat. The only matchup anyone gives a shit about anymore. The only two players that play tennis. Nobody else matters, apparently. The only match that makes people watch tennis at this point. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, this is the only match that's... the only matchup that people pay attention to these days. Even if it is a very lucrative exhibition, it's still Alcaraz. Alcaraz going to serve first. I've got Alcaraz in 3. God, chat. Even though I'm I was joking the other day about how boring this matchup is. I'm glad we have it. Even though I was like, oh, I don't want to see this match again. I lied. I always want to see this match. Come on. As if you thought I was being serious. Love 15. First point goes to Sinner. I've gone Alcaraz in 3. I kind of would love one of these guys to just embarrass the other though. That'd be kind of funny. In an exhibition to be like, oh, by the way, 2 in love. Can you imagine? Love 30. That would be insane. I love 30. Sinner a chance to break straight away. Love 30. As the return goes back into Alcaraz, back into Sinner on the stretch. Alcaraz slice. Sinner falling cross court. Alcaraz with the pass in the net. Ooh. Maybe watching Fritz gave permission for Sinner to be serious. Love 30. Ooh, okay. Because Sinner, ooh. Sinner's come out here like Wimbledon final. What's up? Love 40. Yeah, Sinner not messing around. He's like, you can keep your tweeners. I don't care. He's like, all right, Carlos, what you got? He's thrown down the challenge already. Alcaraz serves. To the back of Sinner. Alcaraz forehand is a winner. Very casual winner. 15-40, but a good winner. 15-40. That's a lovely forehand winner. Federer-like. And default second serve. As Alcaraz double faults. What? All right. 1-0. Break to start this match. All right. Sinner's come out here. Super serious. Because he needs to pay that electricity bill that is overdue. He needs to pay the Wi-Fi bill. The car payment lease that he owes, or on the loan that he got for the Mercedes, he needs to pay that loan. He's behind. So he needs to win this match. Obviously, right? As the backhand return goes to the backhand of Sinner. Forehand out from Alcaraz. Into the forehand of Sinner as Alcaraz backhand. Into the backhand of Sinner. Sinner in the net. Love 15. Love 15. All right, Sinner serves again. As the return goes out by Alcaraz, 15-all. 15-all. By the way, Sinner's got a pretty tricky draw over in Vienna. If you haven't seen the draw, I made a preview about it. You can go watch that preview. It is a tricky draw. First matchups are not easy. Anyway, 15-all. Yes, Zverev got all the qualifiers. And the backhand return from Alcaraz in the backhand of Sinner. Sinner downline winner. $30-15. $30-15. Sinner serves again. Into the backhand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Sinner to the backhand of Alcaraz. Sinner again to the backhand of Alcaraz. Sliced. Sinner forehand. Into the Alcaraz backhand. Sinner with a forehand goes cross court. Alcaraz gets it. Sinner forehand again. Into the forehand of Alcaraz. Sinner with a backhand on the stretch. Alcaraz backhand again. The backhand of Sinner. And Sinner in the net. 30-all. I'll tell you, this is going to be a good test for Alcaraz because Sinner, this is like, let's just assume this is a fast indoor hard court. I don't think it's fast, but it's definitely on the faster side than, like, let's say Rotterdam, which is what Alcaraz won earlier in the year. This would be an interesting test because on this surface, you'd say advantage Sinner. On a quick indoor court, you would say Sinner has the advantage. He's better on this surface. He's got, obviously better results too, right? He won the ATP finals. Even though I think Alcaraz has he's got like 2 wins over Sinner on indoor hard courts, but I still think this is a better surface for Sinner. 40-30. And maybe Alcaraz's worst surface. Maybe. So this would be an interesting test. 40-30. And then an ace, all right. 2-love Sinner. Great start. Alcaraz's ankle is taped again. All right, we'll keep an eye on that as well. Let me have a look. Let me confirm. No, they zoomed in on his shoe, but I can't see the ankle taped. He's wearing socks. But it might be taped. All right, 2-love. As the return goes in the front of Alcaraz, front of Sinner. To the backhand of Alcaraz, but Sinner hit it along, and it's 15-love. Alcaraz's ankle is taped. And I don't think it was taped in the other day's match. Anyway, Sinner comes in with a drop shot, but Alcaraz is going to get there with a forehand. Sinner with a pass. Cross court is too good. All right, Sinner outplayed Alcaraz in a Alcaraz-style rally. And a smile from Sinner as well. 15-0. All right. I'll tell you, Sinner out tricking Alcaraz is pretty interesting. Alcaraz was supposed to win that rally. That was his point. 15-0. As Alcaraz serves a fault second serve. Serve in the back into Sinner. Return goes long. 30-15. Hey, Shashank, thank you for the 22 months. $30.15. As Alcaraz serves a fault, second serve. Return goes to fault of Alcaraz, back in a Sinner. Down the line goes wide. Ooh, Sinner's been so aggressive. 40-15. Always good to be here. Thank you for sticking around. Appreciate it. Almost 2 years. By January, it'll be 2 years. Alcaraz holds. All right, 2-1 Sinner with a break. All right. First game on the board. All right. All right. Two one. 2-1. All right. All right. Sinner with an ace, 15 love. It's already started. I can already see people fighting about this. We've already agreed that this match is important. It matters. So I don't want to hear anyone start saying, oh, well, no. That we've already agreed, so too bad. You weren't here for the vote, too bad. The winner of this match and the team that wins get to brag about it. Anyways, good hitting from Sinner, 30 love. We already agreed that whoever wins this match, whichever support group wins this match, or supporter group, they get to talk about it and they get to brag. I don't want to hear anyone coming in and being like, but it's an exhibition. Too bad. We made the choice. We agreed. Sinner and Alcaraz fans alike, we all agreed that this match matters. No turning back now. It's only been 3 games. 30 love. Just see people just fighting. Too bad. We unanimously agreed you should have been here. As with a fine return from Alcaraz goes long, and it's 40 love. I don't think Alcaraz expected Sinner to be this aggressive this quick. Again, somebody who came here to play, someone who came here to hit trick shots. Alcaraz maybe just thought, oh, let's just have some fun and then we'll get serious. No. Sinner's like, we're getting serious now. First game of the match. And the Sinner's hitting forehand winners like it's the US Open final. 3-1. Sinner with the break. Sinner is mauling Alcaraz at the moment. Alcaraz's got to figure it out. Ah, 3-1. As Carlos serves the backhand of Sinner, return goes to front of Alcaraz. Backhand from Sinner. No, Alcaraz hit it out. Love 15. Now remember, chat, 2023 Wimbledon final. Alcaraz lost the first set 6-1. Came back to win. So even if Sinner does dominate this first set, I don't think Carlos is worried. He knows he can turn things around in the second and third if he needs to. He's just going to have to really kick it up a notch because Sinner's come out here playing super serious. And Alcaraz hasn't quite started playing yet. 15-0. As the return goes into the backhand of Alcaraz, backhand from Sinner. And Alcaraz backhand in the net. Now, on a serious note, if Alcaraz's ankle is bothering him, which the tape suggests that it is a problem, maybe not like he's not limping around and can't move, let's not get crazy, but he definitely has tape on the ankle, which means that he's not feeling 100% on that ankle. His footwork might be a little off, and that last shot there wasn't the best footwork by Alcaraz. Sinner hits a forehand to the forehand of Alcaraz, the backhand of Sinner. Alcaraz forehand goes cross court. And Sinner in the net? No. Did Alcaraz miss it? Oh, he missed it. 15-40. He just missed it, Carlos. All right, 15-40. For a double break here, Sinner. But it definitely seems like Alcaraz is not... He's definitely not moving as quickly yet. But also the court speed might be the reason too. Sinner's game on these courts might be a reason why Alcaraz is looking a little slower than usual as well. Anyways, 4-1 double break. Sinner came out here. And again, people are going to say for the money. I think Sinner came out here to prove a point. If not to you, maybe to himself, to go, okay, all these little tricks that I've been trying, post US Open, when I said I need to change my game for this, that, and the other, this is what he's been doing for the last couple of weeks, right? Trying to play like this. This is why he made those comments. Now he gets to see what he's done about it, right? It's a good opportunity for that before we get to the real shit in a couple of weeks. All right. 4-1 double break. All right, how are we doing, chap? What are we doing? When they say it's not about the money, it's all about the money. Okay. Then why is Alcaraz not putting his life on the line if it's all about the money? Alcaraz is heavily injury cam. Stop hyping the number 2. You must be terrible at parties. All right, 4-1. You wondering why you don't get invited to things? Yeah, my friends don't invite me to anything anymore. I wonder why. Yeah, me either. I wouldn't invite you. 4-1. 4-1. You know what I mean? I think we figured it out. 15 love. As we serve again. Here's a fault from Sinner, second serve. As the backhand return goes the backhand to Sinner. Backhand up from Alcaraz into the forehand of Sinner. Sinner overhits at 15-0. 15-0. Serve again. And the forehand return goes in the backhand of Sinner, but Alcaraz overhit it. 30-15. To the guy that keeps on saying this is an exhibition, Alcaraz doesn't take seriously, on ATP he dominates. You weren't here. This is match matters. Hello. We've already established that this is an important match and that this match matters, and whoever wins this match gets to talk about it, and whoever loses needs to accept that it's a real match. So you weren't here. Can I change my vote? No. The votes are locked. We've already done the votes. The votes are over. There's no more voting. You can't re-vote. We're not doing a recount just because someone's not happy. 40-15. So we all agreed that the winner of this match gets to talk about it. Just because it's not your guy doesn't mean now you get to change the rules. 5-1 Sinner. Sinner fans, they voted too. So they have every right to be able to talk. And by the way, honest assessment of this. Sinner's come out here full on, right? He's come out here and gone, I'm winning. This is mine. Alcaraz maybe wasn't expecting that, but also Alcaraz does have tape on his ankle. I'm not saying that he's limping, he's one-legged, no. But he definitely isn't 100%. But he also probably wasn't expecting Sinner to come out as aggressive as he has. So there's a little bit of a... Alcaraz has got to figure out, okay, do I, in the second set, do I put in a lot more effort if I'm not feeling great? Like, do I want to risk making my foot worse by trying harder? Or do I accept this is an exhibition and I don't need to win? He's got to sum it up because Sinner's coming here to win. He's come here to play, to win, to dominate. Alcaraz kind of got to figure out whether or not he wants to... It's kind of like Djokovic did with Fritz, right? Is it worth it for Alcaraz to try and push himself in the second? I don't know. Not if he gets injured, right? When the real matches are still to come. I mean, the ATP Finals and the Davis Cup, right? As that lob goes in by Sinner, I think no, it was just long, 30-15. Ankle is a distraction, mentally, also discomforting. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If again, in the second set, if Sinner does win this set, Alcaraz has got to weigh up whether or not, as that's a crazy drop shot. What the hell, crazy drop shot by Alcaraz. 40-15. Alcaraz has got to figure out whether or not he tries to push to Sinner's level and compete at his level, which could be a risk. If he's got an ankle problem, or does he just call it and say, look, this guy's just too good for me today, and I'm not going to risk the rest of my season on an exhibition? As we get a forehand return winner by Sinner, 40-30, especially when you've got Paris Masters in a week, you've got the ATP Finals, and you've got Davis Cup for Alcaraz, right? 3 places that he might have to play Sinner in real tennis, right? So again, got to figure out whether or not he's got to figure out whether it's worth it. As he goes for a serve and volley, Sinner in the net. It's 5-2 Sinner. Now, Sinner's doing everything right here. He is just like, because needs the win. Maybe needs the win, but it would be a huge confidence boost if he goes like 2-2 against Alcaraz, right? Doesn't matter what Alcaraz is doing down the other end. He's like, shit, I played well, you know? All right. Laura Robson talking to Juan Carlos. I tell you what, though, after this tournament, next year, I wonder if Alcaraz and Djokovic and maybe other players look at this and go, it's not worth it. Like, it's not worth the injury or the risk of injury. Not that they got injured here because they came in with stuff, right? Alcaraz had his ankle injury earlier in the month, and Djokovic came in from Shanghai. But you wonder if next year if they're going to go, it's yeah, okay, 1.5 mil is great for just showing up, but also like at the risk of not playing for the rest of the year when you've got, it's for Alcaraz, he's got big tournaments coming up. It's a bad time of year to have this tournament for sure because everyone's tired, right? But yeah, you just got to think and I'm like, obviously the guys that are lower ranked are gonna, lower ranked in the top 10 are gonna say, I'm playing this 1.5 million for one day. Yes, but for guys like Alcaraz and Djokovic who getting injured is not worth $6 million. You know what I mean? I wonder if next year they decide, I don't want to put myself at risk when there's more important tournaments for me to win, or at least to play. Djokovic might. I mean, we don't know what Djokovic is going to be like in 12 months, but Alcaraz, though, I don't know. Or anybody, all players who are... I mean, Draper didn't play this tournament. I mean, nobody would have faulted Draper for showing up for this event and nothing else. But he pulled out the rest of the season and this event, forfeiting at $1.5 million. So Draper obviously was like, it's not worth it. My arm injury is not worth making worse for a paycheck. And I respect Draper for that. He chose his body and longevity, and starting next year fresh over a payday. Because worst case, he comes here and he makes it worse, and then next year he doesn't start until March. And he drops in the rankings and all that shit. So, Anyways, Sinner is cruising. So Juan Carlos just kind of said what we're saying about the fast courts and Sinner's game is quick, and Alcaraz was not prepared for this this barrage of aggression. 30 love. Serve to the backhand of Alcaraz. Return goes into the forehand of Sinner. Sinner in the net. 30-15. $30-15. Seven to the backhand slice of Alcaraz. Return goes to the net. 40-15. 40-15. Sinner take the first set here in like 20 minutes. This has been quick. Quick. 40-15. Serve. It's a fault. Second serve. Into the front of Alcaraz. Return goes in the net. Okay. 6-2 Sinner. Couldn't have played a better set, Sinner. Got a few free points from Alcaraz. But Sinner came to play. 27 minutes. All right. All right, here we go. When was the last time Carlos lost his first set this badly to Sinner? I mean, yeah, good question. When was the last time he got beaten this badly in a first set? I don't know. I mean, he hasn't really lost any first sets against Sinner recently. Well, they're showing that chess camera, which is just staring at the cameraman walking backwards. I mean, what are we doing? French Open, he lost the first set 6-4 Alcaraz to Sinner. French Open last year, Sinner won the first set 6-2. And if I remember, was pretty dominant. But that was obviously a different time, a long time ago now, 18 months ago. But yeah, French Open last year was the last time that Sinner dominated Alcaraz in a first set. And then you go back to 2024 Indian Wells where it was like 6-1. But yeah, the last 6-2 set was first set for Sinner was French Open last year, semi-final. And then Indian Wells was 6-1 last year. Because Sinner didn't play this year. All right. First set in the bag for Jannik Sinner. Will you make a video about Runa? Why? You already know the news. You sound like you know what's up, so I don't need to make a video. I'll make a video when we get confirmation on what's going on. So maybe I'll make a video tomorrow or the next day. But there's no point in making a video about until we get more. Everybody knows what's going on anyway. If you haven't seen what's happened to Runa, maybe don't watch it. It's nasty. Is that forehand goes to the net by Sinner? All right, love 15. But yeah, I'll update you if something to talk about. If there's something to talk about. Love 15. Sorry, 15 love. As the return goes... No, the first serve was a fault. Second serve. Second serve. As the return goes out by Sinner. 30 love. All right, 30 love. As we got a fault from Alcaraz, second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Alcaraz. Alcaraz hits a wide. 30-15. As Alcaraz serves again. As the return goes in the forehand of Alcaraz, and Alcaraz puts it away. All right. Carlos is starting to lift. 40-15. All right. By the way, Draper must be watching the channel. What's up, Jack? Come on the channel. We want to talk to you. All right, Alcaraz holds one love. Because Draper just posted, injuries are going to happen. We are pushing our bodies to do things they aren't supposed to in elite sport. We have so many incredible younger players on the tour right now, and I'm proud to be a part of that. However, the tour and the calendar have to adapt if any of us are going to achieve some sort of longevity. And we're literally just talking about Draper not playing this tournament and putting his body before a paycheck. So maybe he is watching. Shout out to Jack. Chad, if everybody's talking about the tour being so long and being fatigued, and why are people doubting that? Like, if the people that are doing the work are saying it's really hard and it's really like it's brutal, and there's no one's going to play past 30 at this rate because everyone's burning themselves to death. Why are we not adjusting to the people that have to do the work? Why are we all just going, nah, it's fine, don't worry about it? When the people involved, we're not doing the work, we're watching them. Like, why are they not listening to the players? Backhand to backhand rally. As we're backhand now from Sinner to the forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Sinner. Again to the forehand of Alcaraz. And Sinner goes down the line with the forehand to the backhand of Alcaraz. Into the backhand of Sinner. Alcaraz backhand. Into the forehand of Sinner. And Sinner hits a winner. Beautiful shot. 30 love. 30 love. Back in the day, they were playing best of 5 sets in 1000s. Yeah, but they're also playing 1 week 1000s. And then they scrapped that after I want to say it was only 5 or 6 years they did that. And then they scrapped it because people were getting injured and they couldn't recover. So they, even the 5-set finals were not they didn't do it for that long in 1000s. But they also were a week. So you didn't play 2 weeks and then a 5-setter at the end of it. It was still it was only a week of doing that. 40 love. As the return goes into the forehand of Sinner. Alcaraz forehand to the forehand of Sinner. Sinner in the net. And it's 40-15. Why would I dye my hair blonde? The answer is never. 40-15. All right, 40-15 serve. Into the backhand of Alcaraz. Alcaraz in the net. And it's 1-1. If you could make change to the schedule, what would you propose? I would propose that we have 4 2-week Masters and then the rest of them are 1 week. And they're spread out so that players are not playing back-to-back 2-week Masters or 2-week Masters before a slam or anything like that. And I also think there's a conversation around the rankings where not having to have, 19 tournaments count for your ranking, cutting it down. I think Federer mentioned this, which is an interesting point. Cutting down, the amount of tournaments that you are required to play for your ranking, whatever that is, right? Changing that, to be less so then players don't feel like they have to play. And the players, look, the players that win don't have to play everything, but the players that, there's option, right? You don't have to, if you want to play 40 tournaments a year, go for it. But, if you only have to play 15 events to count for your ranking, then, that could be something to talk about. I don't know how that works exactly, but just something maybe to think about. 30 love. As Alcaraz starts to step up. As he serves a fault second serve. As we return now from Sinner into the forehand of Alcaraz. Drop shot is in the net though, and it's 30-15. All right, 30-15. Serving the back of Sinner. That goes out by Sinner on the return, 40-15. Now, chat, can we... again, yes, Alcaraz's ankle is something going on there. And I hope that when they play again on indoor hard courts that he is fresh so then we can get a better assessment of this. But something that I'm definitely picking up on here, and I said this earlier, I mean, we all know that Sinner can play on indoor hard courts. I think he won his first trophies on indoor hard courts. And when they're fast, even better for Sinner. And we're up until, last year, as Sinner gets a good pickup, but Alcaraz puts it away and it's 2-1. Up until last year, like the end of last year, everyone was saying, well, Alcaraz's weakness is indoor hard courts. He can't play on these surfaces. He's not good on this surface. He can't do indoor hard courts and fast. But it's Sinner's probably one of Sinner's better surfaces. I think we're watching a little bit of that today. Now, it's hard to 100% because it's an exhibition, but also because Alcaraz has got an ankle issue, whether or not that's affecting his ability to return serves, to rally, which is why I want to see them play on indoor hard courts one more time this year, just to get a better assessment on whether or not it's Sinner's game suited to the courts and Alcaraz is struggling, or if it was just because Alcaraz is not 100% right now and, the exhibition, people are not, he's not taking it as serious. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this could be again, we'll find out hopefully again if they play either here, ATP Finals, Davis Cup, or Paris. But whether or not this is like Sinner's advantage when they play on indoor hard courts, right? Because when we look at them, we go, okay, Wimbledon went to Sinner. You could say maybe the grass goes to Sinner based on Wimbledon. I don't know. But then like clay goes to Alcaraz. And then some hard courts go to Alcaraz, but then maybe indoor hard courts, maybe Sinner gets a little advantage, But that's what we want to do with these rivalries, like we did with Federer, where we went Federer has grass, Nadal has clay, hard courts was interesting, right? It was kind of neutral. Like we want to play those games. That's what Federer was talking about when he was saying about court speeds. This is what he was probably partly meaning was, we want to be like, well, this guy can play better on this surface when they play, and this guy can play better on this surface when they play, and then this is, this is what we want to see. Basically, Sinner better on fast, Alcaraz on slow. No, because Alcaraz won the US Open, and that's not slow. Right? Also, he won Cincinnati, which is not slow, but that was, he won Cincinnati this year against Sinner. Again, it's so shit that match we didn't get to watch that match or see that match, because that would have really been an interesting match, because Cincinnati is lightning fast, well, very fast. Maybe not as fast as last year, but it was fast, but we didn't get to see that. The US Open has become slow? No, the US Open has gotten faster. The court speeds at the US Open have increased. It's slower, the US Open now? No, it has. It's gotten faster. It was slow in 2019. Now it's like, not Australian Open quick, but it's definitely quicker. 2019, it was like Indian Wells. Now it's like Miami. All right. Nice hitting from Alcaraz. Great lob. But Sinner then put away the smash and nearly knocked out the front row. All right. 40 love. As the return goes in the corner. Sinner puts it away. All right. 2-2. Two all. Thank you, Gene. Appreciate it. Somebody who's done their research and actually helped with a website that talks about it too. So we're coming in here. US Open used to be slow. It's now increased. Anyways, Alcaraz puts up a lob. But the lob goes wide, and it's love 15. Love 15. Love 15. We get a fault second serve. Sinner hits a return winner, love 30. Love 30. All right, love 30. As with a fault from Alcaraz, second serve. Seven to the backhand of Sinner. Backhand of Alcaraz to the backhand of Sinner. Alcaraz with the forehand again, the backhand of Sinner. Into the forehand of Alcaraz, who hits a drop shot. Sinner's going to get there. But Alcaraz with the forehand, open court winner. 15-30. That's the Alcaraz we want to see. 15-30. $15.30. As the return goes in the front of Alcaraz, and Alcaraz hits it out. 15.40. Hey, James, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome. 15.40. To get the break in the second, Sinner. As Alcaraz serves an ace. 30-40. Still set break point for Sinner. As we default second serve. Serving to the backhand of Sinner, backhand of Alcaraz down the line. Sinner with the forehand. The backhand of Alcaraz, again the forehand of Sinner. Alcaraz forehand cross court. Sinner gets it. And hits it wide. Deuce. All right, deuce. Sinner has not faced a break point yet, by the way. Oh, puppy. Deuce. Ugh. As the return goes to the front of Alcaraz. Sinner with the backhand pass. Too good. Too good. Advantage Sinner. Ridiculous passing shot winner. Advantage Sinner to get the break in the second. Ace out wide. He's playing Vienna tomorrow. How's it possible? He's not playing tomorrow. He'll play Tuesday. Deuce. Also, he's not playing tomorrow. He's playing... It's Saturday. He's playing on... If he plays Tuesday, he's got 2 days to get there. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Anyways, back into the net by Sinner. All right, advantage Alcaraz. Advantage Alcaraz. To stay in front. There's Alcaraz slice into the forehand of Sinner. Alcaraz backhand down the line. Sinner's got up with a slice forehand. Goes into the forehand of Alcaraz. Sinner forehand down the line. Alcaraz with a slice. Sinner comes in with a backhand, but it's in the net by Alcaraz. I tell you, Alcaraz is struggling with the pace for sure. Like, Sinner is smoking these forehands, and Alcaraz is just a fraction late. Deuce. Nice serve. Advantage Alcaraz. Advantage Alcaraz. To take the lead back. All right, first serve is a fault. Second serve. Double fault. All right. Deuce. All right, deuce. As the return goes to forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Sinner. And Sinner comes in with a forehand. No, he hit it long. Ooh. Advantage Alcaraz. That was a terrible shot by Sinner. Probably the worst shot he's hit all day. All right, advantage Alcaraz. The same front. Seven to the back of Sinner. Alcaraz forehand is out by a mile. God, Alcaraz is not on right now. Another error. His forehand is missing. All right. Drop shot Alcaraz. Sinner gets it back with a forehand. Alcaraz with a passing shot. Sinner there with the backhand down the line. Alcaraz can't get it. Advantage Sinner. Advantage Sinner. Beautiful backhand from Sinner. Alcaraz serves again. An ace. Just work your ass off for the point, and then it's just like, nah, that's enough. Just snuffs it out like 2 seconds later. By the way, chat, we're almost at 700 likes, 600 likes. Thank you for that. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't already. We've still got plenty more tennis left to go this season. Deuce. And we had a fault second serve. As that goes out by Sinner, it's advantage Alcaraz. Advantage Alcaraz to take the lead. Serving the back and Sinner. Front of Alcaraz is a winner. All right, Alcaraz holds. Important game. And Alcaraz celebrating jokingly. It must be so weird because, like, some players are coming out here playing super serious, right? And then the players that, like Djokovic and Alcaraz, who are not, they kind of go, this is an exhibition, so I'm not going to try too hard. But then they're like making fun of trying hard, and then they're like Djokovic won a game and he celebrated similarly as well, right? But like, I don't, it's weird, right? It's like a weird, like, especially today, we're seeing it a lot, right? Fritz and Sinner are just like playing this like it's a Grand Slam final. But then Djokovic and Alcaraz are kind of like, but it's not. So I better make a joke out of it a little bit, like make fun of it a little bit, but also lock in. Like, it's weird. It must be so weird for them, right? For Alcaraz and Djokovic today. Because they were coming out here going, we're going to have some fun. And then Sinner and Fritz were like, no, we're not. we're serious. What are you talking about? It's weird. It must be like confusing for them. Because they, your mindset would be different playing an exhibition and treating it like that compared to coming out here and playing for real. Not saying that's why Alcaraz is losing, but by that reaction, it kind of felt like he's trying to like make it like, oh yeah, this is just for fun, remember? But Sinner's like, I don't care. I'm here to win. I don't know what you're doing. 3-2. Sinner serves. A fault. Serving the backhand of Alcaraz, and Alcaraz is out. The return, 15-love. As the return goes short, Sinner with the backhand. Alcaraz gets up with a slice. Sinner with the volley winner. 30-love. For fun, $4.5 million, by the way. Lol. Yeah. You should probably call them and tell them that. I think Alcaraz forgot that it's worth $4.5 million because he's playing like it's worth $4.5. So maybe you should probably call him and ask and tell him, like, hey, Carlos, lock in, brother. It's worth $4.5 million and I've got $50 on you. 30-15. By the way, don't bet on exhibitions. That's so stupid. What a stupid thing to do. Why would you do that? Djokovic just withdrew from an exhibition. Like, why would you even risk betting on an exhibition? Come on now. It's wild. It's like just flushing your money down the toilet. You're better off just buying yourself like a pretty hat or something. Anyway, 4-1 rally. As Alcaraz smokes a forehand winner. That's the Carlos that we want to see. 30-0. That's the Alcaraz we were promised. 30-0. Whew. He needs to do that if he's going to win this. We do have pretty hats in the merch store. They're not $4.50 though. But you can get them if you want. 30-0. Sinner serves a fault, second serve. Remember, Sinner hasn't faced a break point yet. Second serve. Seven to the back of Alcaraz return. To the back of Sinner. Alcaraz forehand cross court. Sinner gets it. To the back of Alcaraz. Sinner forehand down the line. Alcaraz slice. Goes wide. Too good from Sinner. 40-30. Sinner too good. Cam, you are too pro for Alcaraz today. Not neutral enough. What are you talking about? You must have just got here. Did you watch the first set? 40-30. There's a backhand return. Goes out. 3-0. Sinner fans need to need to face it. It's an exhibition. No. Hey. Stop backtracking. Hey, stop backpedaling. You get off that bike. We said at the start of this match, we all agreed. Alcaraz and Sinner fans alike, we all agreed that this match matters. We all agreed. So I don't want to see anyone like going, no, this doesn't count. No. Your fan base agreed. You might not have been here, but that's your fault. Why weren't you at the start of the stream? You should have been here. If you don't agree, you're part of it though. As an Alcaraz fan, they voted and said it matters. Win, lose. Doesn't matter. It matters. It doesn't matter if they win or lose, but it matters if they win or lose. You should have been here. We all agreed. 15 love. Sinner hits a return winner. 15-0. See, chat, this is why I'm glad we established this at the start of the match, because now anybody who comes in and starts like making excuses and shit and pretending like this is not the most important match right now. We all established what this was. 15-0. Makes my job a lot easier. As we're backing out for Sinner. Into the forehand of Alcaraz. Sinner backhand again. To the backhand of Alcaraz. Alcaraz hits it wide. All right, 15-30. 15-30. I'll tell you, this is a bit of a statement if Sinner can get out of here straightforward. 15-30. There'll be a fault second serve. Serve to the back into Sinner. Return goes back into Alcaraz. Sinner on the stretch. Goes down the line. Alcaraz with the forehand cross court. Sinner gets it. Alcaraz with the half volley pick up. Sinner with the forehand down the line's a winner. He outplayed Alcaraz again. 15-40. Jeez. No, 15-40. By the way, let's just talk about their head-to-head for a second. I don't think Sinner has done this to Alcaraz ever. Has he ever smoked Alcaraz in straights? It's always been close. And I know it doesn't matter, but it does. And I'm telling you, this is the most one-sided Alcaraz match we've ever had so far. The last time we had a match that was probably this one-sided was Umag, but the first set was a tiebreak. After that, it was 1-1. Indian Wells, first set went Sinner 6-1, and then Alcaraz came back and was 3-2. But neither of these guys have won in straight sets this easily. It's either been a tiebreak or like both guys take a set. Like the straight sets wins have been tiebreaks. One tiebreak at least. So this is like a crazy result in the Sinner rivalry. Because even last year when they played this, it was 3 sets. 30-40. First serve, default, second serve. Yeah, 7-6, 6-1 in Rome. Again, tiebreak. So there's it hasn't been this easy. Beijing, 23, same thing, 7-6. 6-1 as we get a volley from Sinner. It's too good. But all the straight sets wins have been a tiebreak. So you've had Paris 2021, Sinner, Alcaraz won in straights, but it was tiebreak first set. Same with Indian Wells, tiebreak first set in 2023. Same with Beijing 2023, tiebreak first set Sinner. Rome this year, tiebreak first set. So to have it be, 6-2, 6-4, unheard of in this rivalry. Like it's probably as one-sided as we've ever seen at this point. which is interesting. It's not that one-sided. Are you looking at the score? Hello? Alcaraz hasn't even had a break point. Like, Sinner has been all over Alcaraz from the first point. Like, Sinner's playing Alcaraz points against Alcaraz. Like, he's playing these, he's coming to the net, doing the volleys. I mean, he's out playing Alcaraz in every way. It's insane. This isn't even counted head-to-head. Ah, good one. All right. Sinner's got the set in the break. He's 2 games away from winning this again, back-to-back. He is the king of kings. All right. Serve. Is an ace. 15 love. 15 love. And there's a serve again. In the back end of Alcaraz, Sinner comes in with a forehand, and Alcaraz puts it wide on the forehand, and it's 30 love. This is the most one-sided Sinner match we've ever seen. The most one-sided Sinner match of all time so far. And I know Alcaraz fans, that hurts to say, but also it's the truth. It's the truth. That goes out by Sinner, 30-15. Cincinnati, that was a retirement loss. That didn't end. And you could tell from like the second point that Sinner was not there. Alcaraz has just been outplayed. Yeah, he has the ankle strap, but like Sinner's just attacked him from the first point. As the backhand now goes out by Alcaraz. All right, 40-15. You're wrong, the US Open this year? Yeah, but Sinner won a set, so how is that like... I know the set was maybe a consolation prize, but like 4 sets compared to a straight sets is... Like, if I'm wrong, you're wrong. Because like Alcaraz hasn't been in this match at all. But this is straight sets, so how can you say a 4-set match is not better than... Not like... more one-sided than a straight sets match? I mean, there was at least one point where Sinner was in that match. Alcaraz hasn't been in this match at all. Anyways, 5-3. Sinner holds, and Alcaraz is going to serve to stay in the match. All right, how are we doing, chat? Are we still coping? Sinner indoor is still the best, yeah. Well, see, that's the issue though, right? Because we know that Alcaraz has got he's got it. His ankle has some tape on it, right? But also, he probably wasn't ready for Sinner to be this aggressive and this serious. So we need to see this match again before the year end, because does Sinner have the advantage on indoor hard courts when they play? It's hard to judge off. Judging off this match, Sinner definitely likes his chances and likes the way that he likes this court more than Alcaraz today, for sure. But we need to see it when the stakes are a little bit higher. And I know $1 billion is like high stakes, but I'm talking about like ranking points, head-to-head record, like that, like, you know, the stakes, the real stakes, right? Money is great, but like the real stakes are trophies, titles, you know, accomplishments, real head-to-head matches, you know. And if Sinner's doing this against Alcaraz in a real match, then you got to say advantage Sinner when it goes indoors on fast. right? Just like we say it's advantage Alcaraz when we go on clay, right? Or the slower stuff. All right, 40 love. So yeah, I need to see it. I need to see it with no, like with I need to see it in a real thing to kind of make the assessment. But based on this, you would go, well, Sinner wins the indoor hard courts, especially when they're quick, because his game on this court is exactly he was made to play on this court, whereas Alcaraz is struggling, with the speed a little bit. He's struggling with the court speed. All right. Sinner's going to serve for this match. By the way, Chuck, we had one for this tournament. We had one good set so far, and then after that set, it was over. It was one set. We had one close set, and then after that, and then it was done because it was a long first set. But like every other match has been like 2-4, 3-1. Like it's been like, what are we doing? We only had one that tiebreak with Djokovic and Fritz was the best set so far. It was set points for Djokovic, and then Fritz came around and won the set, and then that was all. But man, I'm sure this is not what the tournament paid for. They were not spending all this money to have all these really one-sided matches that nobody's going to pay attention to, except for this final. I mean, this final being one-sided is definitely more memorable because it's like, oh, okay, Sinner, who's been on the losing end against Alcaraz most times, gets a convincing win. That's interesting. We'll see if it makes any difference in a couple of weeks if they play again. But all right, Sinner serving for the match and for the big old prize money. I hope they just start spraying money from the ceiling, like in a big piggy bank, like in the what is it? The Squid Game. When they lower down like a piggy bank or something, or like a Mr. Beast video when they just start spraying money everywhere. That'd be fun. I don't think they will, but that'd be kind of cool. Like instead of confetti, it's money. That'd be kind of wild. All right, 15 love. As we default from Sinner, second serve. Serving the back end of Alcaraz. And Alcaraz hits it out on the return. 30 love. $30 love. Two points away. Great serve down the tee. 40 love. Match point. Championship point for Jannik Sinner. 6 King Slam point. Don't love that. I don't love that. Championship point. To go back-to-back at the 6 King Slam, but more importantly, just wreck Alcaraz. Okay. He took that US Open personal. Serve down to the front of Alcaraz. Return goes into the front of Sinner. Alcaraz the pass in the net. There it is. Wow. Wow. The most convincing win Sinner's ever had against Alcaraz. Exhibition or not, that was the most convincing win from start to finish that Sinner's ever had against this man. And look, you can say that Alcaraz wasn't trying, that Alcaraz was injured, whatever you want, but Sinner, the way he played from point one to the last championship point, he didn't face a break point. He mauled Alcaraz from the start. And he wasn't playing this like it was just some random exhibition. He was playing like this was revenge. I mean, that was devastating. Great win for Sinner. Now, the question is, if they play again in a couple of weeks, are we going to get the same result? Because now he's got a trend. Last year, remember, he won in a 3-setter, and then when they played again, he couldn't do it again. But this feels a little different than last year. Last year was a close 3-setter, and you could put it down to maybe Alcaraz, playing an exhibition. But this felt a little different. The way Sinner played today was a little different. It was a lot more serious and a lot more aggressive. Like it was mean. Like he was mean, Sinner. He didn't get the memo. Hey, you got to hit one tweener, otherwise it doesn't count. Sinner was playing mean. Man, there it is. There it is. Sinner gets a win. Carlos is still smiling. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Alcaraz is not going to obviously take this too personal. But it's like Fritz, right? Fritz beating Djokovic the way that he did. For Djokovic, he's probably not going to lose any sleep. But for Fritz, huge, right? Huge confidence, huge, huge for him. Similar thing here. Alcaraz is probably not going to lose much sleep. Maybe, if anything, Carlos's camp can go back and go, okay, well, if he plays like that against us, we got to figure out how to do that because we got to figure out what to do because that game is scary. On a fast court, that's a scary game. So, if anything, this might actually be a good thing for Alcaraz's camp because Sinner kind of showed, well, this is what I can do on this surface against you. And kind of, I guess, what do they say? Showed his cards a little bit. Like what he's been working on since the US Open. He's kind of gone, this is what I can do. And now the Alcaraz camp can go away and go, how do we play against this guy on indoor hard courts at this speed if he plays like that? And they're going to come up with a solution. So maybe it's not a bad thing that this happened to Alcaraz now. Because if Sinner didn't play that aggressive and played a little bit less aggressive and didn't, go all out, maybe Alcaraz wouldn't have the answer if he did go all out in the ATP finals, for example. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Alcaraz, this is not the worst thing to happen going forward. Because now he's going to expect this guy next time they play. But next time they play, Alcaraz will be ready. Just like he was at the US Open after the Wimbledon final, right? At the Wimbledon final, Alcaraz was, after winning the first set, couldn't adapt. But then at the US Open, he lost the second set, but then he was right back on in the third, right? And he learned from that Wimbledon final loss. So, yeah. It will be interesting. Next time they play, this feels, again, I said at the start of the match, if it was a close 3-setter or if it was, whatever, like close straight sets to somebody, whatever. But a beat down and a one-sided victory would be interesting and would make us think, all right, well, how is this going to affect what happens next? I think this match does affect it. I think this does definitely give Sinner a lot of confidence, but also gives Alcaraz something to think about. All right, they're doing some crazy-ass presentation now. I'll tell you, though, next year they better get some 3-setters next year because they had no 3-set matches this year. It was only one close tiebreak set and every other match was straightforward. Like, there was no... Like this, as an exhibition goes, unfortunately, it was not competitive. One set was competitive. And unfortunately, that was one set and then that was the match. So... We had no 3-setters. I think last year we had 2 3-setters and a couple of close sets here and there, but this was just like one-sided. Very one-sided. All right. All right. Oh, pardon me. Horrible to watch? It depends who you're watching. Please stream Valentova. I'm not going to be awake in 7 hours. I don't think so. I think Alcaraz will be 100% in a few weeks. Hopefully. Alcaraz is not playing next week. Sinner is playing next week. So Alcaraz gets he's gonna hopefully rest up that foot, get that ankle back, get that ankle to 100% so he can try and beat this guy at the ATP finals, That might be the next time we see them. And then Davis Cup. Hopefully we see them play both of them. That'd be sick. So sick. Now, we got no Rune update. He's going in for scans tomorrow, so we'll talk about it probably tomorrow. But yeah, he's it's all like everyone's saying it looks like an Achilles, and it looks like it could be months. And he could be out for a while. But until we by the way, Rude also coming out and talking about everyone's getting pushed to the limit. Wow. We're pushing our limits to the maximum here. Holger was one of those who still had a chance to make the ATP finals, so his limit was definitely pushed too. He's very demanding when you go from tournament to tournament. Wow. Yeah, look, maybe the Rune injury is a conversation starter for the season length, So yeah, it's not official, but it seems like an Achilles for Rune, which could be 6 to 12 months, right? There's no quick recovery from that. Holy shit! Why are they bringing out a treasure chest of? Has it got money in it? Is this a thing? Is it going to have gold in it? What's in the chest? Chat. What's in it? Is it going to be some like crazy ass? It's going to be like gold bars or something, right? What's in the treasure chest? This is like some Pirates of the Caribbean shit. What? What's in there? Imagine it was just like a check. Here you go. Just an envelope. There you go. It's like a briefcase of money. It's exciting. What the hell? Is it just like dollar bills? Hundreds? Wait, they opened it. What's in it? Oh, it's a tennis racket. Oh. It's a tennis racket. It's a trophy tennis racket. It's probably a tennis racket made of gold or something. Yeah. It's just a tennis racket, Chad. Don't worry about it. It's just the trophy. It's a golden racket. Isn't it like a 24-karat gold racket though? Didn't last year that's what he won, right? Wasn't it like a golden tennis it's a solid gold tennis racket. It's a golden racket. That's pretty sick though. And Sinner's already got one of them. He's got two now. He can play doubles. Yeah, go out and play with that, I dare you. You'll see him down at the Monte Carlo Country Club just playing with the golden rackets. Must be heavy, though. But yeah, so we don't know much. Again, it's all pointing towards Rune not playing for a while, but yeah. But it might be, look, it's shit. It's so shit. It sucks. I love watching Rune, and we won't get to watch him for a while. But it might be a conversation starter, and the players might go, "Hey, you want us to all be like this, and we all get injured like that? You're not going to have a tour." So, you know what I mean? Like maybe to make a best out of a bad situation, the players might all rally. And try and convince the powers that be that there's a lot of tennis going on, and the more tennis we play, the more likely we are going to get injured. So maybe there's something there. Maybe there's a way to it starts a conversation, especially when Draper and Rude have spoken about today. Not spoken about Rune. Rude did, but Draper was talking about how the tour is demanding. Too demanding. All right, umpire gets a plate. All right, Alcaraz gets his run-up trophy. The game is important on the mental standpoint. It's a confidence win. If you all can't see that, you're blinded. Okay, I agree. Sinner winning it, this is a huge confidence boost for Sinner, for sure. But I also think it's on a bad loss for Alcaraz. Because one, it's an exhibition, so Alcaraz can always walk out of here and go, it wasn't for real. So he doesn't have to take the losses hard. But also, I think it kind of, again, like I said, for the Alcaraz camp, they can look and go, oh, okay, if we have to play this guy in a couple of weeks, we now have time. We now know what he's going to do. Sinner's kind of shown them what he can do on indoor hard courts. How do we play against that? So they can make a strategy for when they play at the ATP finals, if they play at the ATP finals, right? So it might not be the worst thing. But I tell you, Sinner, that was that was so serious. By the way, Sinner played 3 matches. He had to play 3 matches. He had to play that first match against Tsitsipas. He then took on Djokovic, and then he took out Alcaraz. I mean, that is a hell of a road to winning this title. The racket's worth $4.15 billion or something. I don't know. What's the price? What? He has to go to the bank and cash that in to get the money. Do you think this tournament will be back next year? Yeah, it will be. They'll do a 3rd edition for sure. Alcaraz always has a smile on his face. It's great. Oh, yeah. He is... Yeah, besides the Olympic final loss when he got really upset for obvious reasons because he lost. Alcaraz is always happy. And the Cincinnati final was devastating too. But other than that, I mean, he's even if he loses, he's still pretty jolly. The racket is valued at $270K. Shit. That's crazy. Alcaraz having a laugh. All right. So unpredictable. That's why it's difficult to support Alcaraz. That Jannik plays like a spider, literally. He keeps the ball so low. Yeah, well, when the courts are quick as well, the ball stays low anyway. So when you hit flat on an indoor hard court that's fast, it's going to stay low. But again, no speeches? No, there's no speeches, which is weird. Love your neutral stance on the Sinner rivalry. Yeah, because I'm a Shelton fan, so I want both of them to lose. I like Shelton, so no. They're doing speeches now. Well, interview now. But yeah, I'm. Yeah, it'll be interesting because I don't know if Sinner's tricks today, the way that he played today, is going to get Alcaraz next time. Because Alcaraz is a quick learner. We know that. We've seen that, right? Alcaraz goes from, he'll lose one match and then he'll win the next 5, right? I mean, he's a quick learner, Carlos. So he's going to look at this and go, and the coaches are going to look at this and go, okay, how do we, this is a problem. This guy's a problem if he plays like this. How do we beat that? And it's like the next time they play, Alcaraz is going to have some solution to this. Yeah, they're both playing in Paris at this stage. That's a good answer. Andrew, that's a good question. Andrew Castle's like, do you like it when he plays as well against you? And Alcaraz is like, not really. Sinner will also continue adjusting. True, but this will give him a lot of confidence in what he's been trying to do. But see, the thing is, like, he was ultra aggressive on a fast indoor court, right? So he probably knew, well, I know that I can do that against this guy and beat this guy like this. But it's more about Alcaraz. Like, this situation, it's advantage Sinner, right? On, indoor hard courts, and we've got indoor hard courts going forward, right? We've got 2-3 matches potentially for these guys to play. Paris, Turin, Davis Cup, all of those tournaments, they could play each other. So there's potentially 3 more indoor matches. So Alcaraz will need to work out how, because like we're gonna give fast indoor hard courts a Sinner, right? So let's see if how Alcaraz can adjust to that and how quickly he can. Because we've got they could be playing in a final in 2 weeks in Paris, right? Paris is 2 weeks away, final. So how much can Alcaraz adjust in those 2 weeks for a potential rematch? Couldn't they find someone else? And Andrew Castle must have. I don't think he's that bad. I don't think Andrew Castle's all right. What's wrong with Andrew Castle? Isn't he like the former British world number one? Former British number one? Who wins more slams at the end of the career? Djokovic, Alcaraz, or Sinner? I don't know. That's an impossible question. Next question. I don't want to answer that question. Sinner the King, Carlos the Prince. Yep. Same as last year. Djokovic match was longer? I know, right? Wild. It doesn't look like anyone could bother Jannik in Vienna. Yeah, I know I said tough draw, but now everyone's going to comment, oh, tough draw my ass. Yeah, okay. I didn't ask. I still think he's got a tricky draw, though, Sinner. Mahachal Kaboli second round, Altmaier first round, Bublik quarterfinal. It depends on how quick the courts are in Vienna, because a Bublik on a quick indoor court could be a pain in the ass. And Demonor did take a set off Sinner last time they played, so you count Demonor out at this. Well, I mean, the head-to-head says count him out, but the last match says maybe pay attention. It is definitely tricky, but everyone's gonna I know so many people are gonna be like, now that I had the video out for 12 hours. Or 6 hours, everyone's going to say, oh, but Sinner just beat Alcaraz. Shut up, idiot. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But I'm sure that I'm going to, I'm just going to look at the video right now. I'm going to look at the comments now. Which is always fun. Because I love being called stupid. Let me check. Blah, blah, blah. Why are you talking so fast? I'm Australian. All right, so no one's actually said Sinner has got an easy draw. All right, so nobody called me stupid yet. Yay. Cool. No one called me stupid. That's a first. Oh, wait, hang on. The comments didn't go through. Oh, okay, yep. Oh, okay. No, we won't read those out. Sinner's draw is tricky, for sure. But after this win, if he plays like this, no one's going to beat him in Vienna. Before this match, it was a tricky draw in Vienna because there are potential hurdles. But after winning against Alcaraz, if I made the video now, I would say, well, if Sinner plays like this, no one's going to touch him. So, but hindsight, I'm not making another video. I think every draw for Sinner is easy. I feel sorry for anyone who plays him. Yeah. I was going to plead again about that picture, but I restrained myself. Come on, you know I have to do that. Like, that's the only photo I got of Sinner looking stressed. I can't be like tough draw Sinner and he's smiling. You know what I mean? That would be like, why is he happy about a tough draw? That's weird. Do you think Carlos tried his best today? All right. I've said it many times already, but I'll say it again. I think Alcaraz probably came out here in a bit more of a exhibition mindset where he was probably thinking, we're going to have a really tough match. It's going to be a good quality match, but I'm going to ease myself into it. Bit of back and forth, blah, blah. I don't think he was expecting Sinner to punch him in the face in the first point, right? I don't think he was ready for Sinner to start like throwing fists in the first game. He got broken in the first game, right? So it was like, set the tone. So I think Alcaraz was maybe thinking, we'll just we'll spar a little bit and then we'll go at it at like 4-4. But Sinner was like, no, we're going at it at 1-1, 0-0 first game, right? So I think and Alcaraz was behind ever since, like as soon as it happened, he just couldn't recover, right? He was on the back foot and Sinner was flying, right? And that's why Sinner didn't face a break point. He was flying. So I don't think it was Alcaraz not taking it seriously. I think Alcaraz just wasn't ready for Sinner to play like that so quickly. And by the time Alcaraz was like, all right, I'm here, which was like start of the second, it was too late because Sinner was already flying, right? And he couldn't catch Sinner and catch his level. Also, there is he did have a bit of a tape on the ankle, which we know he pulled out of Shanghai from the ankle. I didn't think he moved that badly though. I don't think he wasn't limping. I would say that like maybe his footwork is a little bit off, but I think that's more because of the court speed than the foot being injured. Like he didn't look injured. He looked a little bit, a little sloppy, but again, is that because the courts were fast? Is that because Sinner was putting so much pressure on and he was feeling panicked and he was making errors because he was panicked? It's Alcaraz, because that happens too sometimes, right? We've seen Alcaraz spray that forehand when things aren't working and he's trying to figure it out. And he's like, oh, well, I better hit it harder, right? So, again, I really want to see them play one more time on the indoor hard courts this year just to get a real assessment of okay, are the indoor hard courts advantage Sinner? Because I think after today you'd say yes. But yeah, but I wouldn't say Alcaraz wasn't trying. But maybe towards the end of the match when he realized it's over and it doesn't matter so much to him what happens because, again, this is an exhibition. I think maybe at the very end he was kind of just like, you won. Like he doesn't seem that bothered that he lost, right? Psychological Sinner needed it more. Oh yeah, Sinner winning is definitely a big deal for him for sure. Like Sinner getting the win means something to him for sure. For Alcaraz, like I said, I don't think he's losing too much sleep at night after losing this match. But for Sinner, he's going back in the locker room high-fiving, going, all right, we're going to do that again, but like for real this time. Like Sinner figured something out today. But again, I don't think Alcaraz is going to be sweating going, oh no. By the way, all the don't act professional at all, please. All all the commentators are like carrying that racket. And they're like, oh, it's really heavy, made of gold. They were like, wow, it's made of gold. What do you think it was made of? Chocolate? They were like, oh my God, it's a heavy gold racket. Yeah, no shit. I think the Saudis just painted it with spray paint. What do you mean? They just sprayed it gold. You know, it's just a normal racket. No, it's a real solid thing. What do you mean? Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here because I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I don't know if we're doing anything. We might just start fresh on Monday. What you said? What's up? Oh, Fritz is also commenting on what Draper said. God, see, chat, this is where the players might unite. Because the only way that things change in the tennis world is if the players are the product, right? The players are, if there's no players, there's no tennis. So, interesting. Players, they got to listen to the players, man. Oh, Draper was he tweeted out like an hour ago about how the season is causing problem, like causing fatigue and he's not playing for the rest of the year because he's injured, right? Rude came out and talked about Runer's injury and saying like, you know, everyone's tired, like bad things are happening, we can't have this, right? And Fritz agreed with Draper about the season's length and the the amount of stuff they got to do is too much. They've been pushed to their limits. So yeah, interesting. Ningbo final tomorrow. We're back in a big game. True. But again, because it's like 7:30 in the morning and I got to go to sleep. I don't know when those matches are for me to watch if I am awake. We're back in here at 8 p.m. maybe. Medvedev 9. Medvedev Mute. Okay. Yeah, we're not watching Villageva. It's at 2 o'clock. I'll be asleep. There's no way I'm gonna be awake for that. So yeah, so we might start fresh Monday watching Basel / Vienna / Ningbo is not Ningbo, Tokyo. With Raducanu in Tokyo, that's obviously a big deal. But that won't be on Monday. That'll be on like Wednesday. So yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Cam deserves a size of 6 and 2.
Hey, thank you, Emma, for the donation. Appreciate it. Thank you for the...
Carlos now knows what it takes to beat Jannik indoors. He will work on that next. We will have better Carlos in Paris and Turin.
I agree. Thank you, Arajit, for the donation. I agree. I think this loss is a good loss for Carlos to get that rhymed, but to get especially because Sinner was playing like as well as he could, right? There's no way Sinner could have played better than that. That was the best Sinner could have played. So now Alcaraz knows that and can see that and go, oh, cool. Now I'm gonna counter that with this, and I'm gonna figure out a style and a game plan to beat that. So yeah. So I think it is a good it's a good loss for Alcaraz. Because at least he's gonna, and especially when it doesn't count, it doesn't matter. It definitely will give him some clues into how to, or some, at least he won't be caught off guard next time, Cam, don't ignore this. I know for a fact you prefer Alcaraz. We need to hear you admit it. What would give you that idea that I like Alcaraz? I don't understand. I mean, what would give you the impression that I am a fan of Carlos Alcaraz? I mean, I have no idea what you mean. What do you mean? Nothing. I don't even know what you're talking. What are you talking about? Carlos, you think I like Carlos Alcaraz? What are you? I don't even understand where that would have come from. That's insane. That's an insane. That's an insane opinion. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Anyways. Well-timed loss. Yeah. Yeah, look, if Alcaraz had to lose to Sinner, this is the perfect time to lose to Sinner in this tournament, right? This is the right time. If there was ever a right time to lose, this is the one. Because now Alcaraz can reset, reevaluate how to beat Sinner if they play again in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully, for him, turn the tables. All right. I'm out of here. But that is the Six King Slam. I don't know how it gets better next year because you can't make the matches better. You just have to put the players next to each other and hope they play well. But hopefully next year, if they do it again, which I think they will be a little bit more competitive all around because we only really had the one competitive match, which was one set. This final didn't disappoint. I think this final, it was one-sided, but I think it was pretty interesting. It was really interesting to see how Sinner was playing. But all the other matches, the matches on semifinals in the first round, or the first matches, they were forgettable, unfortunately. But at least the final day, we have some things to talk about. We have some things to think about going forward. So at least that is it wasn't a total it wasn't totally not worth it, right? We learned some things. Fritz winning, that was big today, and Sinner the way that he won was big. So back to the real shit. Maybe we watch Raducanu. I don't know. I'll just have to figure out my schedule after I wake up, whenever that is, and whenever. But then we're going to watch Basel, Vienna next week. We'll tune into in the tournaments on the WTA as well because the WTA is starting to wrap up. And then, of course, Paris indoors, WTA finals, ATP finals, Davis Cup, and then we are done. 5 weeks left. 5 weeks, and then the tour is done. 2025 is over, and we get a couple of weeks off, or a couple of months off, until we come back and do it all again for 2026. But thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Or tomorrow. I don't know. Or today. I don't know. Tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. Next, I don't know. Next week. 6264. Sinner wrecks Alcaraz. That was a statement. And let's see if it translates into the real matches. But I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for hanging out.